gentlemen, welcome to another episode of That Range Life Show, sometimes about golf. I'm Bill Bush, drivingrangeheroes.com, at Range Heroes. That's Kris McEwen, at Kris McEwen on all the social medias.
You got your real NPR-y voice you got going on there.
Yeah, well, we'll address that momentarily here. Once I just invite you all to go down below if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe to this here YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notified. Do all the things. If you're listening to the podcasts, Kris, tell them what to do.
You should subscribe to it, one, and then you should rate and review it. Those are the three things that we ask you to do. Oh, and overall, just in general, tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Doesn't hurt anyone.
Real quick, since we got that stuff out of the way and you sound like you're on your deathbed, we should remind people that there are still roughly, as this video drops, I think 7 days remaining of our big 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest.
Listen,
and so
you decided every one person's winning all of it, so you don't want to miss it.
Exactly. I mean, just give them a taste, Bill. Give them a taste of what they could win.
We forgot something when we did the contest announcement, so I'm going to lead off with that.
Okay.
A little something from Radmore Golf, the sustainable
is it?
golf
Yeah, hopefully
company.
It's a hat with that dope logo on it.
I would grab mine and put it on, but I'm wearing my True Dead Golfer hat today.
Also an awesome
Shout out Brandon Wallach.
Yeah.
Finally got me the right hat, and I love it to death. So Radmore,
right. So Radmore, yeah.
A Fujikura shaft and swag.
Right.
Shot scope rangefinder.
Yeah.
A Tour-Edge putter.
Yeah.
Which, again, there's some complications there. You and me can talk about that off mic.
Off
the show. You're going to get one, guys. You're going to get one.
Speaking of Brendan Wallach, some True Links wear shoes.
True Links wear shoes. I wear them literally every day of my life. Not true. Some days I wear flip-flops, even though it's 40 degrees here in Chicago right now.
Yeah, I actually need another pair of True Links wears because I need, it's house shoe season for me. Because I like to wear shoes in the house, but I don't want to wear them outside. So I just need a pair for in the house.
Naturally,
so we got to work. So that's just a real. I don't want to go through the whole list. You want to see everything. What you need to do is.
I thought of something.
Oh, okay.
Revo sunglasses.
Those have been lots of comments on the Revo sunglasses.
I got some. I'm just gonna say this. We'll get into it. Why I recently took my tried and true pair of electric eyewear sunglasses.
Okay.
I've had it for years, polarized lenses, whatever. I love them. Great frame shape, whatever. But they're starting to get some lens seepage or something. And I'm like, what the hell is this? These are $200 some glasses. This shouldn't be happening. So I go, I've had nothing but good interactions with Revo. They make great high quality stuff. You would be hard pressed at that price point to find a better quality lens and frame on the market. So I'm replacing them. I'm replacing my 7-8-year-old electric glasses with Revos, and that's it.
Okay.
I'm not looking back.
All right. Well, that's exciting. So you win all that stuff, and then the way you enter, you have to do two things. One, you have to go back to our video of the 1,000 subscriber contest announcement. You go back to that video and comment on what you're most excited about potentially winning.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's one. Obviously you have to be a subscriber. That kind of goes without saying, but then there's a link. I'll put the link in here too, but there's a link in there in the other video. And you have to go in there.
Do this trick.
We'll do the card. Right. We'll do the card. God, you're such a pro.
We're YouTubers now.
And you have to give us your email address because that's how we're going to contact you. And that's how you get credit for doing these other things, because not only are those, that's how you enter, there are other ways for you to enter. So if you go to the link there and do those things, you can get multiple entries. So go and do that. And that's the spiel. So now we can start the show, Bill.
I saw a comment. Could we cover real quick? Is Frank eligible or no?
Of course he is.
Okay. Riv is not. Intern Grant is not.
I don't think they've entered anyways, but
because they know they're not.
Yeah, Frank is definitely eligible.
All right. So, Frank, that answers your question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk show stuff. You're right. I do kind of sound like death, slash not as bad as I sounded way worse earlier today.
Okay.
I don't remember if we talked about it prior, but I went to Disney World with my family last week.
That's right. I know we haven't talked in we almost went a full 7 days.
I know when you're traveling real close to leave you alone. Had I not
we were both traveling.
Yeah, but still, you're going. I'm,
right.
I'm happy to talk to a grown up friend.
Right.
But so I let you be, and I figure you're busy, and you're not a great texter as it is.
That's fair.
I was legitimately excited to possibly meet in person this week and give you a hug, but then I got, because I do miss you, and I got sick. I have a fever. I hurt. So I'm not COVID positive. Don't worry.
Okay.
I am so sore. I now have this throat cough thing going. It's legit. I was going to post before this show. I don't know if how well you remember Ren and Stimpy, but whenever they'd get sick.
Yeah.
I was going to post a picture of one of them sick and go, me getting ready to record That Range Life with Kris.
There's another a more modern reference. Have you ever seen the episode when SpongeBob gets sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sneezes bubbles and stuff. You could have used that too.
Yeah. So I'm so it started with young Liam, my 6-year-old son, and I'll tell you what, we got on that plane. There is never a fuller plane in these United States of America than any major city to Orlando, or Orlando back to a major city. And we got on the plane it's a pretty full plane, but then you get off and you start in the Disney machine. And I'm like, there's no way we're not getting something. And sure enough, within 2 days of being home, Liam's just looks like death, ends up throwing up because he gets a cold, he throws up. So oh no, let's see. And I have to go to Montreal for work in a week. So, and the Canadians love you coming into their country sick right now. So thankfully,
have you ever been to Montreal?
Never been to Canada somehow. All my hockey career, never went to Canada.
That's exciting. That's where my ancestors hail from.
I feel like I did know that, actually.
Quebec.
I feel like we've covered it. Yeah. I think I'm going to try. It's our first full day and night there. I think I might try to catch the Montreal Les Habitants versus the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'd be some pretty cool to knock off.
Yeah, that's a good bucket list check off right there.
But I cannot feel like this and go to Canada for work. That's going to be miserable. Fair. So
that's fair.
I was going to make a flu game joke, but I feel like throughout this podcast / video show we do, I've had flu games many times.
You really have. You get sick often. A couple times a year, man. Those little kids. Yeah. Those little kids are just germ factories. It
was funny because in college, man, I would get 2 nasty sinus infections a year, really bad, debilitating, can't move.
Yeah.
And get out of college and, boom, gone. Sure. I'm taking the metro every day, whatever, but never get them. And then sure enough, had my first kid, she goes off to preschool or whatever. And it's just the vicious cycle. But obviously hey, Disney weekdays in October actually aren't too bad. Yeah. My ass. Disney in October, Disney anytime is
Disney's always good. It's like Vegas. There's no downtime in Vegas. Everyone's always in Vegas.
Right. And they're admittedly, it's probably better than the weekend. Sure.
Of course.
But just insane. And then it's you got to get Disney, you got to get the Genie service and Lightning Lane or whatever.
Right.
But they only have so many of those reservations and there's rules to booking them, rightfully so. But at some point throughout the day, after you've booked them, you can't book them anymore. And there's no point in them. You're oh, you got a reservation for Space Mountain at 9:45 tonight. Or you have nothing else to do for 4 hours, so just go wait in the line.
Right.
So, yeah, I went to Disney. Now there's a couple things I do want to cover.
Yeah, I need to hear lots about this.
Highlights.
Okay, yeah, give them to me. Give them to me.
Did not expect these to be my highlights, but the character meets. The first character we lined up to meet was Sully from Monsters Inc. Mm-hmm. And he's got the door and everything. He's hugging the kid just melted. That is awesome. Melted.
Yeah.
And then in the Star Wars area, Actually, I don't think you meet him in the Star Wars. But anyway, you meet him. Met Chewbacca, Darth Vader, and BB-8. Darth Vader was a little underwhelming. Cool, but underwhelming. But man, meeting Chewbacca, getting hugged by Chewbacca, like,
yeah,
I inject it into my veins. And I'm not a Disney guy, but like Disney's so unsurprisingly, like no shit, is so good at, you get there and you're just like, oh my God, this place.
Yeah.
Everything about it's the best. And just Chewbacca, it was
did you guys stay on site?
We stayed at the Wilderness Lodge. So,
okay. That's the other thing, because they do that Hollywood really Studios. Well too.
They do. Though I will tell you, I have some criticisms that I think are fair, but it's not worth it. And it's not like going to come off right. For what you pay, I'm like, I expect to see a lot of different things. And here's the other thing I'll say. Obviously, nothing's cheap at Disney, but it gets to that, like, I don't need an all I can eat.
Right.
What can I think of? What do you call the things? Skillet. I don't need an all you can eat skillet for $40. Like, I just want a turkey sandwich. Charge me $35 for that turkey sandwich.
Right. It's just, I don't need to gorge.
Like, yeah, a basic sandwich, but they got to make you feel like you're getting your money's worth.
Right.
You know, so my daughter, like, when we were setting up this trip, she's like, I just want to do the Be Our Guest lunch or dinner. Which I don't really know why, but we did, and it was great. So you meet the beast, and
that's why
it was awesome.
Yeah.
But same thing there. It's like $70 per person, and my 10-year-old daughter is considered an adult, so it's $70 for her, and she can order off the kids menu. Just gets a little bit larger portion, so she got $70 mac and cheese. You know,
right.
And it was great, and it's fine. But so you look at the options, like each person, because of that price point, it's worth it. You get an appetizer,
right? It's a full set menu kind of thing, right?
Right. You get your entree and you get your dessert. And I'm like, at 2 p.m, when I'm going to be here till 11 o'clock at night, and it's hotter than shit, don't need all this effing. I don't need a dry aged pork chop or a filet mignon and a big like pile of mashed potatoes and corn. Like, I don't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we did like I forgot what it's called, but it's like a 50s diner the day before.
Okay.
And same thing. It's like, well, at least we'll split this, but they don't like to let you split things there. And it's like, I'm not splitting this out of saving money. I'm splitting this out of not needing to gorge, as you say.
You're giving us too much food.
I don't need a whole fried chicken.
I feel like maybe you can relate to this. So we live in one of the food meccas on the planet, right?
It drives me nuts how many people don't think that.
Oh, well, they're wrong.
Yeah,
because
you have no idea.
But so imagine you're from, I don't know, some little tiny town in the middle of Nebraska, and you go to Orlando. That's probably awesome for them. But like we have like, I don't know. I just feel like when we gorge and stuff in this city, and you spend $200 on a dinner, it's much more around quality than like, here's a big bucket of food. You know what I mean? Like it's just different. It's just different. Yeah.
I think that like, that's what killed me. It's just, and even if it was dinner, we're done at the park for the day, but me standing in line with a crabby 6-year-old, in 100-degree, with 100% humidity, I don't need this. So,
all right, more highlights. Give me more. Give me the good stuff. Give me more. Give more highlights.
Star Wars, Star Wars thing in general, the whole area, like you step into the movie. It's real life. That's amazing.
I've never been there, obviously, when Star Wars was purchased by Disney or whatever, but God, it looks just amazing.
I'm going to tell you this, given all of that, if you're being objective and fair, it's a little overrated. It's very cool.
Okay.
But I mean, I was expecting to go, Rise of the Resistance was the ride and super hyped up. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I guess apparently it's lost a little bit of its shine to Guardians of the Galaxy. The new ride's supposed to be awesome.
Okay.
We didn't go to that park, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance is super cool. Not taking that away from it. But I was like, I expected this to be a little more like thrilling than it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like Star
I would
Wars,
imagine they try to find a good happy medium between us, the olds that want to be thrown around and like, go
Right.
fast and everything else. And then, not olds.
Yeah. And
12-year-olds that want to do it, whatever.
I was sort of under the impression from other people and, the materials you see on the internet, stormtroopers and Kylo Ren and everybody are walking around that Star Wars place. We saw one character,
really?
The rebel spy Vi. Did it. Which was cool. Don't get me wrong, but you're hoping to see more.
I want a Boba Fett walking past me.
Right. So I think that's, I feel all right about that take. It's super cool though. Yeah. All the things you want it to be. Did
you like get to touch the Millennium Falcon?
I guess technically, yeah. Smuggler's Run is you're in the Millennium Falcon and you like fly in the cockpit. So that was
that's really cool.
That was pretty exciting. Of
that's
course,
pretty cool.
Liam wants to. So you have two pilots, you have two gunners, and you have two engineers. And the guys that ended up being two engineers were like two Star Wars nerds.
Yeah,
and we're the four in front. And Liam's insisting on driving, can't figure it out and follow the directions or even reach to save his life. And the guys behind are getting so weird. They're like, turn left. I'm like, relax. So yeah, that was also cool. Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, man,
still slaps. It's so good.
God, it's so good. Space
Liam
Mountain,
ended up,
man.
My 6-year-old son ended up being the big roller coaster goer. And it's one thing when you're sitting next to him, I didn't know how he was going to fare with the seat in front of me by himself, but it went well.
God, that ride's the best, man.
Tower of Terror was the first ride we went on going there. And I'll just say it did not set a good stage for the rest of my family and be like, oh God, I got motion sickness. It threw me off. And so
really?
Liam, was just scaring him in general. So I had to try to lift him up and get him back into rides. And by the end of it, it was good. He did.
Did you guys do like Universal or anything, or is it purely Disney? Okay.
Did Hollywood Studios all day, the one day. And then we did Magic Kingdom the whole next day, being sun up to sundown. Yeah. And after sundown, I should say. And then came home and started this thing. Here's something I really want to talk about, though. And I will say this: in Splash Mountain, standing in line for probably an hour and a half, almost 2 hours with Liam. God bless him.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that kid, man.
His shirt by the end of the day, from like just crawling in his skin, was just like so stretched out. Just from this shit.
Right,
so funny.
Right.
He went in, with a youth small or whatever he wears. It's probably like a men's medium by the time he was done. Right. So we're just standing in line, you're listening to people around you talk. And finally, this guy starts talking about a podcast he listened to, but then he drops, him and his buddy, he's talking to whoever about like, they got to record their podcast, whatever. And I don't really say anything. At some point, the line led to us interacting. I'm like, I got to ask you, I heard you say you record a podcast. What's your podcast? What do you do? And it's pop culture kind of stuff. And conveniently, because I had my backpack with me, I actually had like 2-3 Driver and Heroes business cards in it, which is, me, I never have.
Oh my God, we're the worst. Both of us are terrible at that.
And so I just got talking like, oh yeah, I do this YouTube show, and we just crossed over 1,000 subscribers, and I guess they're just getting started. So I said, oh, here's my card, check it out. If you ever have questions or want to pick our brains, because they're just kind of just getting going.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
He's nice. If they want to have us on to talk pop culture, I'm in.
Right. It's like we do a show sometimes about golf. We don't talk about golf much.
Right.
Then this is the big thing. We're from Chicago. We are spoiled with our Lake Michigan water. It's
correct.
Delightful. Everywhere you go in the country, most places you go, you're not going to get the quality of water we have. That said, you go to take a shower. It just smells. It's like someone shit in the bathroom. Because the water is so gross. And
really? I don't remember that.
Drink like tap water. If you don't have filtered or bottled water there, like it just tastes gross. It's just miserable. So we got to the point we were like, fill your water bottle up at the drinking fountain at Disney before you go. Because it's not perfect, but it's definitely processed different than whatever we're getting in the hotel. And drink that. Or we were isn't
Disney like on their own whole thing? Like they have their own. Remember, it was like a whole thing. They have their own fire. They have their own police. They have their own water. Like that whole thing.
I don't know, maybe, but
Yeah,
at the Wilderness Lodge, it was gross and stunk. And
gross, man. That's brutal.
so what we ended up doing, we found and this kind of goes into like, I don't know, the ice, go get ice at your hotel was like in a construction area that was being worked on, but we went in to get it anyway. So we'd fill the thing with ice and go put it in our refrigerator and it sort of melt. And then the next day we would just dump that into our water bottles. And it like wasn't perfect, but it was at least somewhat filtered.
Yeah.
It was much better. And it was ingenuity. So I don't know what the deal is. Orlando water, disgusting.
I don't know. Orlandans, comment. Let us know what the deal is with the water.
Orlando Calrissians, please.
Maybe it's just like swamp water and that's all they got down there. I don't know, man.
It smells. Like I took a shower and went out of there. My daughter goes, she's like, oh God, stinks in here. I'm like,
that's awful. That is brutal.
I just took a shower.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
I have a buddy down there. Maybe I'll ask him about it. He's
aside from Flint, Michigan, it has to be the worst water I know of.
Well, apparently it's Flint and then Mississippi and then maybe Orlando.
Yeah. So that was my trip. It was fun. I came home and managed to sneak in a round of golf that was, it's atrocious, but played the Village Links of Glen Ellen. So I still managed to bunt my way around to a respectable 85 when I didn't have my game. So
nice.
It's the first time swinging a club, I think, since that tournament.
Since Oak Park, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it definitely showed and felt like it. In a way, it's like I'm excited to get out and play again soon, but maybe I'm not.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know how it gets, though. Like if you don't force yourself to do it now, it's like you need to suck it all in while we have decent weather, because then we're going to be January 3rd sitting at X Golf saying this is fun, but complaining about how we can't play golf.
100%. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like you just kind of feel here in the Midwest anyways, you just feel it starting to slip away. And obviously it's darker earlier. The time's about to shift and then that's a wrap.
Yeah.
That's it. So anyways,
so tell me about your trip.
Yeah. So, good transition, went to St. George, Utah and Mesquite, Nevada, flew into Vegas to St. George is about 2 hours or so, give or take a stop or whatever. But, man, I don't know. Have you been to that part of the country?
I have been to, not like, drive from, have I driven from Nevada to Utah? Went to Sundance when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah. Which was easily top 3 most beautiful places in the world I've seen.
Yeah. This one, I don't know. I mean, the drive itself, but just the landscapes on their own were just, they're nothing short of breathtaking. Like it's weird to say that as a man, but like, God, it was just so incredible.
It's so wild when you get past the Mississippi and like through the plains, and you're like, because you're like, the plains, whatever. And then all of a sudden there's the Badlands, there's the Rockies, there's all that stuff.
It's amazing that we're all in this single country. Anyways, even so we played, I have the list here because I couldn't remember half of them. We played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of golf, 2 9-holes, 2 18-hole. Yeah. In what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So we fly into Vegas. It's a great trip. I want to give a quick shout out before we move on. As I described this trip, if this is something that anyone would want to do, find Brian Orr, BrianOAR. Find him on Twitter or on Instagram or online, whatever. He set up this whole thing. He put us in these really, really nice villas that were just off the last course we played. Reach out to him. He's a pro at this. He does it for a living. He will set you guys up you can tell him that Chris McEwen, you want to do the Chris McEwen trip, and he will know exactly what it is. Anyway, so we meet up day one in the afternoon at this little 9-hole municipal course called, I think it was Dixie Red Hills Golf Course. I wore t-shirt and like shorts, right? Just a cool hang. And I mean, even that silly little 9-hole course, like people obviously play that thing every day that are local to St. George. You know, they want to get in a quick 9, whatever. And you just start to look around. You're like, I can't believe, like, this is what these, like, people probably don't even notice what's around them, you know, like these big, tall red rocks and this just gorgeous landscape. So that alone was just fun. And it's a real, Bill, I really feel like you would have loved it. It's super quirky and weird. Like, it's just one of those quirky little 9-hole golf courses that I don't know. I'm guessing Brian just lined us up and said, you guys just meet here. You know, because we couldn't check into the villas till later. So like, just go burn an hour and a half here. But it's really, there was like a big S par 5 and it's just really fun. It was just a fun, weird 9-hole golf course. But then we hit kind of the main attractions, right? So in St. George, there's this little golf course called Sand Hollow Golf Club, or Sand Hollow Resort Golf Club. To me, this was by far, and granted, I shot an 83. I played really well. So that may play a part, but to me, it was by far the most fun and balanced golf course of all the ones we played. You know, and I'll talk about, we played Wolf Creek in Mesquite too, which I'll get to Wolf Creek in a minute, but Sand Hollow's got an 18, a full 18, and then a 9-hole links course. We played both of those. That was our other 9 that we played. So we played 27 that day. The Sand Hollow 18 though, I don't know, man. It's just like, you have elevation, you have thoughtful shots, you have different options, you have, you know, all the landscapes that are beautiful. It's just, you know, perfectly maintained golf course, of course. You know, it lived up to all of the hype. Any ranking that you've seen out there with that thing in the top 20 or whatever, 15, it easily meets that. Not to mention the people there are great. The golf carts are modern, up to date, GPS, all those kind of fun little creature comforts. Yeah, that place really, I just loved it. Love that golf course so much. And then the 9-hole links, we played the 9-hole after the 18. And of course, it's links, so it's complete. You know, it's very different. It's all wide open. There's no rocks and there weren't any sort. It's real flat. You know, there weren't any elevation drops or anything like that you're going to get. And for those that maybe do or don't like, if you go to St. George, if you go to Mesquite, even at the little 9-hole, the Dixie Red Hills golf course, you're going to get elevation drops. Like, there is just elevation around there, right? You're going to have to play through it. So if you like it, I would highly recommend it. If you don't, well, it's not going to be as fun, but you know, there's something to be said about hitting a driver from an elevated tee and just watching it float, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of, it's just fun. Or if you've got a 180-yard par 3, but you're elevated 100 feet up, and so you're hitting like a 8-iron into it or something, because it's just going to float down there forever. But yeah, Sand Hollow to me was just an absolute blast. Here's the thing that, well, I'll cover the rest of the golf courses just real quick. Wolf Creek Golf Club. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture or video of Wolf Creek. William, have you seen this before? I'll try to cut in to put some in here. It is playing golf on the moon, man. Like, it is crazy. Every single hole, 1 through 18, is just bananas. It's super elevated, like super elevated. Like, you're climbing, you don't know if your golf cart's going to get all the way up to the top of this tee box. And then when you're going down, you're hitting speed bumps all the way, and to keep you from kind of flying off the cart path. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It was really fun because it was so different. I'm glad I played it. The only reason I would ever play it again is if you wanted to play it, Adam wanted to play it, Riv. Like, if we were to go, I would go back. Otherwise, I checked that one off the list. I'm good. I don't need to experience it again. That's all. That's what I'll say about that. I feel like Wolf Creek probably has one of the best pro shops I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. It's got everything you could possibly imagine, every single hat you could imagine. But Wolf Creek, if you're listening, if you're watching this, update your golf carts. Okay. Your golf carts can't handle that elevation. They're old. Put some money into the golf carts. Period. End of story. Otherwise, the golf course is beautiful. It's immaculate. I think those that played like Tiger Woods golf back in the day, Wolf Creek was in that game. People knew it because of that. And that's exactly what it was. It's insane. It's just absolutely insane. You're hitting all kinds of shots down into these valleys. You're hitting shots up into greens. You're surrounded by rock. It's bizarre.
What's the greens fee on that one?
I couldn't tell you because this is all inclusive. So, I mean, we paid a flat rate. I'm guessing it's going to be $200. It could be more. I don't know.
You're charging me $200. You better have a functional golf cart. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. These golf carts need to be replaced like right now. No GPS on it, but not that GPS does you a lot of good anyways, because you're hitting down in these valleys and you really don't know your distances very well.
A picture of the golf hole would be helpful.
That would be helpful. It would have been helpful. Yeah. And just the fact, like when I play Quintero in Arizona, with the brothers and dad, they have special golf courses just to be able to climb those hills. Like they're not normal. Golf carts just to climb those hills. They're not normal golf carts. And that's what Wolf Creek really needs. You can't be like leaning forward in your golf cart, in these rocks and everything. It's just, yeah. Anyways, that being said,
thinking about it,
I enjoyed it. It was fun. But I don't plan on playing it ever again unless one of you says, I want to go play it, and then I will go.
The good news is for you, it probably won't be me doing that to you. So
that's right.
Kris, you'll never guess, but stars are aligning. I actually want to go play Wolf Creek. You want to go?
Right. And I would say yes. Let's go. And I would listen to you complain about it the whole time. I feel like this is, especially in the Southwest, it's very much obviously the opposite of what I know that you like. You like these old courses with history and this natural sort of environment and things. Like Wolf Creek, while you're surrounded by mountains and you're surrounded, like you're hitting into valleys and all these different things, it is not natural, right? It doesn't like the golf courses in the Southwest obviously don't belong there. There's grass. It's green. It's right. It's not normal. But that's part of what I liked about Sand Hollow. I felt like Sand Hollow, like, yes, it was dramatic. The back nine was just, God, the back nine is unbelievable, just gorgeous. But I think it was just because it didn't manufacture golf holes. I think it took the land that was given there and said, okay, we can.
That's a good way of putting it.
Put something there. Yeah,
I don't mind sort of that artificial, unnatural golf course, like a video game golf course, if you will.
Yeah.
I think Whistling Straits, the Straits course, it's a great example of it. Even really the Irish too. They were built from scratch. Oh my God, the dog's making a second appearance ever on the show.
Hey, buddy.
I'm okay with that, but I think there's a certain bit of like, here's the land presented to you, work within it. And I feel like when you run into these golf courses where it's like we had property, we purposely tried to be difficult and tricky and silly about it. I'm like,
yeah,
Pete Dye may or may not have a tendency to do, or have had a tendency to do that, where you're like, oh, you got me. You got us with the golf course. So got it. I think that's where, I think that's the thing. I'm like, hey, this is fun, neat, a little roller coastery. Like, I'm good with that. But when it starts getting to be like, hey, Great America called and we made a mini golf course full scale.
And I think for the most part, I think there were 20 of us, I think there's 20 of us, but I think
Christ, man.
Yeah, it was a great trip. Yeah. Shout out to Ben, Grian at Back9Ben on Twitter, and Jake Weaver. I can't remember his Twitter handle, but they're the ones that put together. It's the annual Griever Cup. You put those two last names together. They put together just a great trip. But yeah, there were like 20 of us, all Twitter people, all Twitter kids, all Twitter golf kids.
Kids is a generous term, but
it is. But yeah. Yeah, so Wolf Creek is very manufactured. And I think the consensus was we were all glad we did it, but we'll probably never do it again. I think that was kind of that was really cool. It was really fun. It's a long day. So they will tell you on the first tee, this round's going to take you 5 hours, regardless of how fast you play, because you're doing this and the holes are not close to each other because it's manufactured. They had to put these holes where they could for the most part. And so it was a long round. Now,
do any hot shots try to walk it?
You could not walk that golf course. I don't think they'd let you in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way. It's impossible. Yeah, God, you could walk it, but it's going to take forever. And you'd be dead after 9 holes. Just because you'd be walking. I mean, literally, for those watching, it's this up some of these hills to get to the next tee box. It's no joke.
Now we have to go play it for content. Like,
right.
We just out of curiosity want to see what walking this will be like.
Yeah, I'm not
gotta carry. You got to carry. Right. You can't push.
Right. So that was Wolf Creek, and then we played the same day down the street next door. Basically, Wolf Creek was Falcon Ridge. Falcon Ridge to me, I think maybe there was a little Wolf Creek hangover happening, and Falcon Ridge is much more. I think it's surrounded by houses. It's almost we would kind of expect it to be like this. And so it was much more of a Phoenix golf course. Like there's houses all around it. You still get some elevation. You still had some really cool holes, really difficult holes. There was still some elevation. I just found it to be fine. It was a good golf course. Probably, that was probably if we lived in St. George, we would probably play that golf course. Whatever, once a month, a couple times during the season.
St. Andrews, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the St. Andrews. Don't get me wrong.
I just mean relative. Relative too.
Yeah, right. But it would be we would play that thing often because it's probably I don't know how much these courses are because we paid a flat rate to get for the whole trip, but it was good golf course. There was a couple. I played terrible on that golf course, which. God, I played so bad. It was a mess. I was a mess. I lost my swing. I think I was probably tired. But yeah, I played that.
I'm sure you were taking great care of yourself.
Yeah, that was
before. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're eating super healthy. I think at one point I was talking to my wife and she's like, have you eaten a vegetable? I'm like, what? No. What are you talking about? But that's fine. It was fine. I'll try to put some video in there of Falcon Ridge too. There's one very dramatic uphill par 4, I think it was, where you just have these multiple plateaus. It was really, really cool. You just work your way all the way up, and then on the way back, you have a par 5 that kind of curves back down the hill. There's stuff like that, right? And then finally, the golf course that we stayed on, called the Ledges. I actually really like this one. It was very resorty.
It rings a bell to me. I feel like I know that one.
The Ledges, maybe. We're back in St. George now, the next day. And this is 18 holes. Very forgiving golf course, much more flat, probably what we're more used to. There were some elevations. There was kind of a gorge that runs all the way through the golf course. I did drive a green on that golf course. That was fun. 200, I think it was a 255 carry, 275 green. And I actually hit through the green. The links, here's the other thing. I'll get to this part of it. I wanted to get through the golf courses because no one's going to care what I shot at the end of the day. But I thought the Ledges was a really, really, really strong, good golf course. Really good shape. The people there are really nice. Beautiful pro shop. The golf balls were included at the range, all that kind of stuff, right? So you're showing up, it's a resort, and they're just saying like, here you go. Yeah. And I really, really enjoyed it. Some really fun holes on that one. Like decision-making holes, right? Like I could hit a driver or I could hit a 4-iron, or even back off and take a 6-iron and then another 6-iron in, whatever. Or you could really push it. Some of the holes would narrow, and you could push it a little bit if you wanted to try to get an easier shot in there. But Yeah, that was the end of the trip, and then we drove ourselves after that round back down to Vegas and flew home. So, yeah, I I loved the area. I would definitely go back. I would definitely do Sand Hollow again. I would love. Here's the other thing too, and this is no fault of the planners, of the organizers. But when you're playing, and this was a competition, we were playing for a trophy. But when you get just one shot at a golf course, like you won another shot at a golf course. Right. So like if I could play Sand Hollow again, and again, like I mentioned, I shot an 83 at Sand Hollow. I played pretty well. I definitely left some shots out there. If I got another shot at Sand Hollow, because there were balls that I kept hitting through, honestly, through fairways. Like, because I didn't know the angles and things like that. And I didn't know that, I could actually club down here to a hybrid or 3-wood and be in perfectly fine chip. I could be a 8-iron away instead of a pitching wedge or something like that. Right. But I would definitely do Sand Hollow again, both those courses. I loved the little Dixie Red Hills 9-holer. I think that's a great way to kick off a trip when you get into Vegas and drive up into St. George, and you can go and just relax and play a really chill 9 holes. And then I mean, definitely the ledges, definitely Sand Hollow, the 18 and the 9. Falcon Ridge, I would play it again. But there's probably maybe something else in the area that you could probably get to. I don't know. I didn't look around, but it was fine. So yeah, those are the golf courses I played. And so here's the thing. I'm going to talk about how I played now for just real quick. I feel like I'm talking a lot in this episode. We're already 40 minutes in.
You are, yeah.
It was a really fun trip.
You said I'm going to go through the courses real quick, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't think you're doing anything real quick, which is fine. It's fine.
I didn't talk about the villas. The villas we were all on the same street, which was really cool. Our villa had a ping pong table. Another villa had a foosball table, and then the other villa had a pool table. They're beautiful. They're right on the golf course. We had a patio on the back, and then we had a patio on top of the garage that you could walk out on. Just great. There's just super. I can't say enough about the whole package. Was really, really good. As I mentioned, Griever Cup is a competition. You play basically like with a quota. Have you played that way before? It's kind of like a Stableford format, based on your handicap and the course handicap and all those different things. So those guys did all the math, whatever. After day one, so Dixie Red Hills was just a fun little 9-hole round. After the rounds at Sand Hollow, this guy right here, me, was 1 point back of first place. Okay. And I'm not going to get into how you got there. You have a quota. You got to meet that quota. You have to exceed it. And then you start collecting points. It's a whole thing. At the end of the day, you need birdies. Birdies would get you points. I had 4 at Sand Hollow on the 18. And so that shot me to the top of the list. After that at all, I fell back to earth. Wolf Creek was not great. What's it called? Falcon Ridge was horrible. I did recover a little bit by the ledges, but by then it didn't matter. I was way behind.
I'm going to say 4 birdies in a round and not breaking 80 is it's a feat.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's because, like I said, I hit at least 2 balls out of bounds that had I played the golf course again, I wouldn't have selected the club off the tee that I did. Right. It's that kind of stuff where you're taking a hit. But yeah, 4 birdies and I didn't break 80. Thank you for that. But
I normally wouldn't do that to you, but that's crazy. I mean, because 4 birdies in a round for immortals like us is not insignificant.
I know. And that's probably the most I had all season, but like, I just was automatic off the tee for the most part all day long. It was crazy. It was super crazy. But now, since I've got just a little bit of a taste of that leaderboard, Bill, guess what?
What?
Now I have to win it.
Oh, okay.
Now it's not just like, let's go play golf and hang out with guys and have fun. Now it's like, oh shit.
I mean, this is your personality.
Right. 100%. Like when I saw myself in second place, 1 point back on the first day, I was like, I got that thing. And then of course, after Wolf Creek, I'm like, well, that's over. But yeah, as soon as I got home, I'm like, nope, I'm going to win that thing next year. So I'm winning that thing next year. And I want the trophy. It will be mine. I'm going to make it happen. You heard it here first.
Good luck to you then. Well, all right, cool. We'll see what happens.
All right. That was my St. George Mesquite trip. Again, thank you to Ben Green and Jake Weaver and Brian Orr for putting it together. It was awesome. I will be hitting up Brian Orr again. I really, really would like to get back to St. George. It was really fun. Really cool little tiny baby town too, which is fun. One brewery in the town.
Tiny baby town. That's a description.
Right.
Tiny baby town and creature comforts. Two out of you that I don't think I've heard you use before.
All right. I guess that's enough.
You and I should probably do some fall 2-man scrambles or something. Just a little competitive juice.
We should, man. I'm in. I've got it. It's back. It's back now. I left it in Arizona, for my tournament. And then, maybe a little bit in the Michigan trip, but that's like, it's a little different than when you're playing obviously by yourself and you're like, holy shit, my name is right there by on its own. Like that's crazy.
Right. Well, we got 2 months of weather. Maybe
we got a couple. I'm sure there's a Thanksgiving scramble or something, a turkey shootout or something.
I know of a handful that I'm like, at least it gives you something like, I'm not just playing to get rounds and like, I'm doing a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in. Let's do it.
I've been staring at this the whole time before we sign off here. Did you know these are back? Remember these?
What are we looking at? Are those, is that like a McDonald's bucket?
Yeah.
Is that like a Happy Meal bucket?
Yeah, they brought them back. First time I guess since 2016.
Yeah.
First introduced in 1986, but it was brought to my attention that they came out nationwide today as we're recording it. So I was asked if I could get Happy Meals for dinner, and I said, sure.
Have you tried the adult Happy Meal? Have you seen that?
No, but I saw in light of this being shown to me, it's Cactus something, I already forgot, but it's a clothing company, and that people are like, it's not even McDonald's themed toys. And so like, it's really stupid. You're paying more basically you're paying like $5 extra for the toy. And it was like the mascot of this clothing company. But then I found out there was like a Hamburglar, Grimace, and someone else toy where like I actually would have wanted those.
Yeah,
I could have choked down a Big Mac, large. Actually, I think they're medium fry. Either way, you get the point.
Is that what's in the meal? Big Mac, a medium fry, and a Coke or something?
Yeah, or a 10-piece nugget. And
there's no way I can eat a Big Mac.
Oh, I'm with you.
God, there's no way.
I'd be like, for Grimace or the Hamburglar, I'd eat some of it and throw the rest away just fine. But then I looked on. So in this, like, they're back. I'm looking online. Apparently, these toys, these adult Happy Meals sold out pretty much nationwide. Like immediately, right? And are going for like the toys are going for like thousands of dollars on eBay already. I'm like, God. Jesus, people, Jesus.
Yeah.
But this brought childhood back, and I was
for sure
happy to share that with the kids.
For sure.
All right. We got stuff going on probably.
And this marathon show. We have lots of stuff considering that we've been out of town for a week.
Yeah, you're throwing off my schedule on the old website because I'm like, I can't keep up with the video. Okay, whatever.
All right. Well, you go first. What do you got?
What do we got? The Echo Biome C4 shoe
today.
Review that dropped. No, that was yesterday.
Okay. I saw it in my Instagram feed today.
And then I think to seal one of your plugs, the Sky Caddy LX2 unboxing you did. That post is the video has been live, but the post is up on driverangeheroes.com. If you missed it, go give me the click, and then we'll get the view the YouTube channel through there. So
right.
Do that. Yeah, that's all I got going on my website.
All right. On this YouTube channel, we've got, you today, as of Tuesday, when we were recording this, unboxed the Lab Golf Mez 1 Max putter.
Yeah. which you will find on driverangeheroes.com next week.
Okay. So that unboxing's happened. That thing is the little clip I posted on Instagram, wildly popular. I mean, not just views are through the roof, but also, I can see how many people save that clip. It's probably one of the most saved clips.
Why do people save on Instagram? Because I
can only assume because they want
sometimes.
I think they want to go and watch the video later. I assume. I don't know.
Huh? Like I don't even know. I don't get it. I don't mean
I've saved.
I just don't understand how.
I've saved drink recipes.
Okay.
Like someone's made a bourbon or something, like a reel or something. I will save that because like I want to try that. Like someone made a maple syrup, like old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I would like to try that for sure.
All right. I see where you're at. Okay.
So yeah, so maybe that's why. I don't know, but it's been a very popular feed thing. Let's see what I think. Well, last week I did the LX2 unboxing. And I think that's probably it. We have a lot of unboxings coming up, which is really fun. You and me both, which is cool.
Look at that. And don't forget.
Also, just real quick, production meeting live here, since we're already killing an hour of this podcast. You've got some equipment that we need to go and play and test.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do, I guess. All right. Yeah. Done. All right. That's Kris McEwen at Kris McEwen. This is his YouTube page. Go down below, subscribe, do the things. We really need you to. Okay. Tell your friends. We really appreciate it. I'm Bill Bush.
Right.
DriveRangeHeroes.com. At Range Heroes on all your social medias. This has been the Range Life Show, sometimes about golf. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.